Alright, so you're looking for which core ability to use on Dosa Awakening. He actually has multiple options of using cores. Typically, I think classes don't really have many options, they just go with one. But on this bad boy, you have more than one option. Let's get into it then. Firstly, we start off with Woodbend, which is Shift F. It's a very big AoE ability. You're able to put stun effect on the first hit if you want to. I personally would not use this one in any circumstance. I mean, it could be decent in large scale, so if you're trying to focus on playing Dosa Awakening in some large scale fights, having a stun on the first hit could maybe proc some people to get stunned, but typically people are going to be very protected in the game, so that might not be very worth it. I personally value protections over adding extra CCs, but I'll show you something else in a bit. I currently use core Fireblaze, which is Shift R and B. You can cancel this ability, so you can like dash into it first, because the standing animation is like very slow to cast, so you can dash into it, press Shift R and B and cast it faster. It's a stiffness effect, but I don't really care about it having a CC. And basically with the core, you can add a forward guard to it. And I feel like having some extra protection is definitely a good idea. So I currently in PvP, I use this ability, and in PvE. Next, we have core Earth Till, which is Shift Q. It's a massive AoE as well, similar to Woodbend. You're able to put a floating effect on it on the first attack hit. I would only consider using this one in large scale again, because it's a mass AoE ability, and you could get lucky and maybe float some players in large scale. Otherwise, I would dodge it. Don't use it in 1v1s or in anything other than large scale. Next, we have Metal Temper, which is Shift L and B. This is the metal element ability that you definitely want to cancel as well with dashing. So let's wait for the cooldown. You can dash and then cancel it. Dash, Shift L and B, it gets cancelled. It's a stun effect, and I believe it's also long range, so wherever you're looking is where it'll cast. So we can be from far away, dash, Shift L and B, and boom, the player is stunned from a mile away, potentially. This class has actually multiple CC abilities. Basically, adding the core will give you a forward guard effect. I personally think it's potentially a good option to use it, but I think I'm still sticking with Blaze for my like general gameplay. It is an option, very much personal preference, and yeah, I think that's all I can go over with that one. Then we have core Water Weave, which is Shift E. You can add basically a knockdown on the last attack hit. I would probably not use this core ability at all, basically ever. I just feel like the other cores have slightly better use case. You have a forward guard on the last animation of the ability, and you can apply a knockdown to it, but I would dodge it. And the final one is actually a pretty interesting one. You can add a knockback onto Enlightened Haze, which is forward F. This class has multiple CCs, such as dashing into LMB, which is a knockback, which is Vellum Slash from Pre-Awakening. You have forward RMB, which is a knockdown, protected, very nice. And then basically adding this core would provide you with another way of potentially CCing somebody. So it's more of a 1v1 type of ability, as you wish. You would be able to CC this testing dummy if you had this core. It would knock back the testing dummy and then allow you to do a follow-up, so you do like a knockback into like a knockdown like this. One last thing to mention is that the knockback on the last core is actually for attack 1 and attack 2 hits. So when you do forward F, you can hold F and do an additional kind of lunge forward that also has a knockback. That's basically it when it comes to the cores. You have multiple options, like I said. I think for solo PvP, I might consider using Enlightened Haze more. I hope that helped you out, and see you in the next one.